What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to, what is this tournament again? Oh, yeah, the Genesis Invitational 2023 Tigers Tournament. We are in California, the last California event, Pat. Last one before we head to the Florida swing. I'm DB. I got Pat Perry with me. We are the Tour Junkies coming at you off the Waste Management. What a fun week it was. Super Bowl, Waste Management. It was a great time. We're going to get into that a little bit more here in just a second. I gotta tell the people. Well, first of all, what are we drinking tonight, Pat? I'm going bourbon tonight. I got a little Manhattan.
I got a brew here. It's a Savannah brew, little Pilsner from a company called Service Brewing Company.
Service Brewing Company.
Yeah, service, military service.
I was about to say real creative naming there out of those guys.
Veteran owned, veteran brewed.
I get it. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you to all of our military, by the way. Pat, it was a fun week. Waste Management was great. Super Bowl was fun. Our props were fun. We hit some. We didn't hit some. Whiffed on the. By the way, did you see the Gatorade color?
I thought they said they didn't know what it was.
They didn't. It happened very sneakily, but I did some research today, and there was a photo of the Gatorade being poured on Andy Reid, and it was at 16-1 purple. 16-1 if you took the purple. So I feel like the Chiefs were kind of trolling there with that. I think, although I do love purple Gatorade, it's probably one of the better flavors of Gatorade, if you ask me. It just tastes so much better. The Nut Hut was popping. We had a great time. A couple good live chats last week on the Nut Hut. By the way, now in the Nut Hut, you've got the First Look Monday morning live chat with me, where I'm doing the first look. But now that it's not publicly on YouTube and it's a private video only shared with Nut Hut members, it just feels more. I did it today for the first time, Pat. You were in there a little bit. It just felt like family. It just felt like we're all sitting on the dinner table chopping
very
it
cozy.
Up. Yeah, I wasn't like worried.
Felt like there was a little fire in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about how long it was going or telling people to like and subscribe and comment and all that stuff. It was just great. We had a great time. We uncovered a lot of really good numbers. Hopefully you bet on a lot of those because I've already seen them getting a lot shorter. We'll talk about that in the betting show. Also, the best new addition, I think, to the Nut Hut in a long time, Pat. I think I alluded to this, but we now have a PGA certified teaching professional in the Nut Hut helping people out, okay? Helping our Nut Hut members get better at their actual golf game. He's getting, Nut Hut members submitted videos of their golf swings and some of their I've seen a girlfriend's golf swing in there. I think it was. And he is his name is Blake. He's killing it. He's in Colorado. He's young. He's funny, and he's just doing a tremendous job. And I've already seen, I don't know how many, maybe 20 breakdown videos already.
At least it's fantastic stuff too, and it's very humorous.
He does a great job. He makes you laugh and he gives you real advice on your golf game. And he's got his own channel in there. You can ask him questions. He's dropping in his own kind of drills to do, instructional stuff. So it's just another benefit of being in the Nut Hut, being a member. You have access to Blake. You can send him a video. But I will say this, your video is going to get publicly posted. And it's now one of my favorite things. I mean, anytime I see a notification in Blake's channel, which is the Progress Over Perfection channel, anytime I see a notification, I click on it, hoping that it's another video. And I've seen a lot of people in the Nut Hut commenting the same thing. We've had so many comments. I've even had people message me privately and go like, this might be the best addition to the Nut Hut yet. It's so funny. It's a blast. I think we should give the people a little taste of what Blake's been doing, Pat, because he did get a hold of one of your swings. I'm not sure how.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This always happens. You're always going to give my worst swings in here. Now, are you going to post a video of me at my lesson?
I don't have that video. I'd have to find. We lost the video.
No, we didn't lose the video.
Pat, in his lesson.
We didn't lose the video. Somebody find the video. There's a better video than this.
We're working on it. Aussie DB says Blake has killed my swing confidence, but he's so good. Yeah. So let's just play the video. It's a minute long. It's a video of you in St. Andrews. If you're listening on the podcast version, don't worry. Just picture it in your mind. But you probably should go back and watch the YouTube videos.
I'll preface this. I mean, DB always gets my worst swings and then he puts them out there.
Today I have the honor of taking a look at Pat's golf swing.
Yeah.
My expectations are extraordinarily high for Pat, being one of the founders of the Tour Junkies. He also happens to be dressed to the absolute 9 on this occasion, expecting a lot. Right after impact, there goes all my self-belief in you, Pat. Probably very similar to where that golf ball ended up, gone. Okay, the first thing that I'd have you do is I'd want you to make this your profile pic on every social media platform. I know for myself, if I had to wake up every morning knowing that as a position in my golf swing, that I would need to make a drastic change in my lifestyle, especially when it comes to golf, okay? Now, honestly, I'm going to take us back to setup. The biggest change I'd have you do is to relax the right side of your body. You can see how open your shoulders are. Your right arm is very straight and rigid. I'd have that right hand get a little bit more underneath the golf club, okay, kind of relax you out. I'd see a big change in your top position. That club would be less across the line, and it would really help you shallow out the club in transition. Get the shaft more on your right forearm instead of your left. Really help that impact condition. Man, does that look a little awkward through the golf ball. Not very athletic, but I think a simple setup change and we could make some real progress, my friend.
I like that. I like that he says that we can make some progress. Now, if somebody could find the other videos, very different than that one, but that's okay.
Blake's doing a tremendous job. If you're in there and you're not taking advantage of the progress over perfection channel, you got it. You know, it takes a little. You got to let them hang a little bit. Drop the video because everybody's going to want to see. But I will tell you this: we got a bunch of hacks in the Nut Hut. So I mean, if you think your move is probably the worst move in the Nut Hut, I guarantee you, there's no way it can't be. I think Helm's move is pretty weird. The roast of Charlie Oliver in the Nut Hut, famously, always in the chat. His was tremendous. Talking about Charlie trying real hard. Anyway, it's a great addition. Nut Hut's having a good time. Hope you guys are too. Now, Pat, in this next, before we kick it off, I just want to talk briefly about the waste management, and I just want to kind of do a quick, so it was a big event, right? It was a big event, so I just want to kind of decompress. And as part of the new DB, right, I want to talk about what I got wrong, right? I want to talk about what I got wrong. Maybe if you want to talk about what you got wrong, but
you're just admit mistakes.
Yeah, in the I don't know about segment, I'm just gonna admit kind of what I wasn't, what didn't happen. Okay.
I have a few thoughts here too.
Okay, quickly, let me just say a couple of things I got right that were kind of off the, I got Sung Jae, I got him right. Ricky Fowler. Ricky's back, okay? He's back. I got him right. Kitty, here Kittyama, Kurt Kittyama, my man, just barely squeaks through the cut and then goes just banana land on the weekend. Love to see Kittyama do his thing. Our boy, friend of the podcast, Grayson Sick, had a pretty good week. In fact, he scored, I think he was in the top 35 or so in DraftKings scores, despite finishing like 50th or something. Sig did pretty good. He was a lower pick. And then I faded Shane Lowry, which I think was definitely a good decision. I got that right. What I got wrong, okay? I stand by my words that Tyrrell Hatton does not like being at the Waste Management. If you watch the man, he didn't like it. He didn't enjoy it. He was like, I don't know, but he was good. He was really good. He was really good. He cost me a matchup. He pushed a matchup against Sam Burns I had in the hut, but I did win another matchup. I had Jason Day over Tyrrell Hatton. That one worked out by one shot. I definitely whiffed on JT. I've been questioning JT now for a couple weeks. He finally gained some strokes off the tee. He backdoored a T4 or whatever it was. He was never really in conversation to win, but he definitely had a strong weekend. He was lower owned in that top tier, which, Godspeed. If you should have played him. Hope you did. Definitely wrong about Xander. Wednesday night in the chat, I was scared of his comments about how his back was touch and go, about how he would feel good one day and bad the next. I mean, he said those things. And for me, I just got scared, and I said no. And then he did good. And then I was really wrong on our boy JT Poston, and that really sucked because I had JT Poston top 20. I think I had him outright. I had him in lineups. It was all bad for JT Poston. It was bad. So what can you do? What can you do, Pat? What can you do?
Yeah, I mean,
Despite all that, I was still profitable in DFS last week. Still profitable.
I was too, but only because of Sunday. Thanks to our Showdown King.
Yeah.
Thanks
you dipped your toe in the Showdown waters, I saw.
Yeah, Sampson helped me out a little bit. He posted some favorite plays, and I think I put a few in my lineup. I don't know why I wouldn't have. And finished fifth in a GPP.
Yeah, that was solid.
150 whole dollars and only spent 20. It was fantastic.
Well, I mean, hey, fifth in the tournament, dipping your toe in the in the Showdown stuff. That's great. He did have a nice write up for round 4. That was good.
Yeah. So here I'll go to this then. So I did the first fantasy golf sommelier of the season last week, and I'm going to do another one this week, DB, because it's an elevated event. So we're going to have 2 in a row. So I'll talk about some things I got right and wrong in that, and mostly it was wrong. JT Poston was my cheap play. He was the $10 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
He was not very good. I was with you on that. And Shane Lowry was the pop the cork because I really didn't talk. Maybe I wasn't listening to you. That happens on the show sometimes, occasionally. I don't remember you fading Lowry on the show. I guess you did. You said you did. I don't remember it. And he was my pop the cork because I didn't really think about him at all until the
I don't remember if it came up on the show or not, but it was a very heavily discussed topic in the lunchtime chat with me on Wednesday and in the Wednesday night chat we had. I talked about his new caddy, all that stuff.
Here's what I learned from that.
Yeah,
the thing
that's
is,
what I want to learn. I want to talk about what we learned, right?
Well, I think we talked about this on the show and when we were making our picks about some experience here on this golf course. And Shane Lowry really hasn't played here all that much. I don't think the atmosphere bothered him, and we did hear it in the chat. Somebody was there on Wednesday maybe and was talking about his body language wasn't so great. But I think that experience definitely is something you want to look at. Somebody like Taylor Montgomery, he was one I think a lot of folks got burned by last week.
Yeah, that was one I forgot to mention. I also got him wrong.
Yeah, I got him wrong too. I played a lot of them. I think I had him as a top 20, had him in as an outright, but I just think the experience is something that we want to look at here. I think off the tee, you want to look at way more. Like a guy like
we did,
but there were some instances where I don't think like Thigala is one of them.
Oh, I told you.
This is a course where like he's wild off the tee, but this is a course where really like you just can't be like he is off the tee, even though he had some good times here. I mean, he was third here a couple of years ago, and you did tell me. Now this week's a little different. I think you can be a little bit wilder off the tee here, even though I know you want to be in the fairway wherever you are, but you look at guys like DJ, Bubba. There's some you don't have to be in the fairway.
By the way, with the Thigala, you lost the wheel bet.
Oh yeah, I lost the wheel bet.
Right, I had Siwoo. You had Thigala. I think Siwoo won by 2 or 3 shots.
He won by 3 because he birdied 18. It was 6 under, 3 under.
My boy Siwoo don't let me down. Like he's rolling right now. So that's the wheel bet. So be on the lookout. Pat has to take and post a very sexy picture of himself and put it on Twitter or Instagram. We'll make sure we even throw that up.
I know what it's going to be already.
Oh, great! That's awesome.
Things
I have a really good track record with the wheel bets. By the way, my wheel bet.
I can't even remember the last time I won a wheel bet. I really don't.
Feel like it was like when I had to wax my leg, my thigh.
And I think it was eating out a pumpkin.
That one was terrible. Yeah. Anyway,
it's been a while though.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
All right. Anyway, I'm sure I got something right.
Yeah, I'm sure
I was right on Billy Horschel. We're talking about the fantasy golf Somalia. Yeah, put in a prize picks play for him to be the under on fairways.
Yeah,
they moved the line, but he was still under where they moved it to, which is 8.5.
I remember on Wednesday night you were not near as scared off of Xander as I was. So I remember that. Anyway, it's a fun tournament. This is going to be a great week, and I think a lot of the same things, the same thing in terms of experience matter when you look at when you look at Riviera. When I looked at a bunch of trends, and we'll probably talk more about the trends on the betting show, but experience around Riv and just experience in general in the PGA Tour, definitely something that has shown through at Riviera. And again, yes, that's with strong fields over the last few years, but it's even stronger now. And I think it's gonna magnify those things to an even greater level. What's crazy is, can you imagine this? I just thought about this. Can you imagine the start of this show had Nick Taylor won that damn golf tournament Sunday? Nick Taylor beat Jon Rahm by 3 shots at the Waste Management. Like, only Scotty Scheffler beat Nick Taylor. I mean, I know we all know this, but just saying it out loud, that was crazy. Like, the names at the board were, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like Scheffler, Taylor, Rahm, and then it was like, was it JT, Day? I mean, the names on that board were crazy, and then just Nick Taylor's up there doing his thing. That was wild to me.
I think there was, I mean, he was great.
Yeah, he was.
Rahm, though, had to do a few things down the stretch to kind of, I mean, he had to really go for it on 15, hit it in the water.
Yeah, he didn't have his best stuff Sunday.
I don't think he had his best stuff in really most of that tournament. And he still
finished third. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good right now.
All right, let's move on. The Nut Hut was great. It was a good time last week. Don't forget, the Nut Hut price increase goes into effect on Friday. If you're a current member or you've been a member, there was an email sent to your inbox on Friday. So check that. If you didn't get it, you can hit me up in the Nut Hut, or you can message me on social or whatever you got to do. Email us, info@tourjunkies.com, if you have any questions. That goes into effect on Friday. All right. 9K and above range. We're kind of doing the same thing we did last week, where we're going to give you a cash lock. We're going to talk about where we think the popular plays are going to go. We're going to give you a fade in each range, but then we're just going to kind of talk through some names, talk through some guys we like, sure, but maybe answer a few questions about some guys that we may have. Because obviously, on a Monday night, with DraftKings and DFS and GPPs being an ownership game, it's hard to fully commit or nail down a pick, because ownership is going to matter a ton, especially in a strong field like this, when it's easier to fade a big name who's chalky when there's other big names all around. That's something that we want to do. So let's talk about this range. It's obviously stacked. I mean, every name in here is of interest to me. I would say this: if I'm starting a cash lineup, the Tony Finau price at 9,500. I mean, he had a very quiet T8 at the Waste Management, very quiet, but just another great, really good finish for Finau. Obviously a really good track record here. He's never been able to close the door, but he's been runner up twice. Famously to Max Homa, lost in the playoff in 2021. So Finau for me at 9,500 is the cash lock. In terms of fade, Pat, this was hard. I just don't. Here's what I wrote down. I will fade the 2 most popular names in the range. Whoever the 2, I don't even care if it's Rahm and Scheffler or Rahm and Rory, whatever. Like, I will fade the 2 most popular names in the range for DraftKings. I'm not saying you have to, but that's what I'll do. And then I'll grab whoever else I want to play in this spot, because I just can't bring myself to fully say, no matter what, I'm out on this guy. Sure, Cantlay worries me a little bit, but he's super cheap at 9K. Obviously, a tremendous record here. He just, so far in 2023, he's been kind of lackluster through just 3 events. I missed the cut last week. So he worries me a bit, but I still could no way fade him if he was not going to be popular. But I think he might be at that price. Morikawa worries me a little bit just from the scrambling standpoint, because I think scrambling is something that's very important around Riviera. Low green and regulation numbers here. Obviously, with Morikawa, the big difference with him is his irons are so freaking good. He can go to a course like that, and it doesn't matter, because he's still going to hit. He's just not going to miss greens. But there's just nobody in here I'm willing to say absolutely not going to play. So for me, it would just be whoever the 2 most popular plays are.
Yeah, I think again, when you look at all these players in here and just the caliber of everyone that's in this top range, it is hard to just plant your flag on a fade. And I think ownership being this, something that's certainly key as it always is. That's a good way to do it if you're just going to fade somebody to just say, hey, I'm just going to avoid the top end guy. The thing is, for me, like, then I start to think, well, what am I going to do if it's somebody I really like? I mean, so then you got to eat it. So I don't know, like if Rory's like one of the chalkiest guy, I like him a lot this week, and I'll probably play him. So I can't sit here and say I'm going to fade him. For me, I think, and this is a little bit bolder fade, but I think Sung Jae is going to be the fade for me. And you look at Sung Jae, he's been fantastic. I mean, he's all season long, other than the Sony Open where he missed a cut there. So I'm going to have a little faith in here that maybe there is something to the fact that he doesn't typically play well on this golf course. You look at his 4 or 3 starts since 2019, 2 missed cuts, T33 last year. Most of the stats for him are going to look good. But there's a few things that, could concern you a little bit. Maybe a little putting when it comes to Poana greens. I do think driving distance is a key here. Not the main thing, but he's not exactly the longest player on the tee, off the tee, especially in this top 9K and above. Him and Morikawa are the shortest of this group.
He's just been so good.
He's been so good. So, and I don't know, where do you think his ownership's going to be?
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I wrote down it was hard to say like who the chalkiest plays are going to be, because kind of like last week, it just kind of evened out between like Scheffler and Rahm and Rory were all within like 3 or 4% of each other. So I think at the top it's going to kind of be like that. So what I wrote down was, who do I think the lowest owned will be? And I think Morikawa, and Burns are going to be there for a couple of reasons. Number one, they each have they each have like a wart in the game or the history here or whatever. And number two, just because of the price, I think, and the depth of this field from a lineup construction, roster construction standpoint, you're just going to have people skipping that lower 9K because they're going to load up on Finau and up. So I think those 3 are going to be the lowest owned plays. I still like, for some reason, I'm not trusting Sam Burns fully yet.
I like Sam Burns a lot.
The West Coast swing. Like I love Sam Burns, that. And I probably would like him more in an outright situation. Last week at 50-1 was very tempting for him. But in a DFS, sometimes I just, I don't know. I would rather have Sung Jae or Morikawa here, honestly. I think like that's my gut right now. But I truly don't have a problem playing any of those guys. I really don't. I think, sure, like, would I rather have Finau or Xander over Morikawa or Sung Jae? Yes, I think I would. But it's not by that much, honestly. I just don't think it's by that much. I'm curious how Cantlay is going to fall just because of miscut last. I mean, surely because of the record here and the cheap price. I mean, the fact that Cantlay's below Sam Burns is wild to think about. Like, when's the last time that happened? He's probably going to be pretty popular, I'd imagine. So I just think that's why that Sung Jae, Morikawa, Burns spot right there is going to get passed up.
Yeah, I think Cantlay is going to be certainly higher end because of that price. Does he just seem a little disinterested though this year? Like,
he always seems disinterested.
But even this year, it's just not. What has he really done so far this season that's gotten you excited, other than like getting him at 9K, good history here, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not much so far. He's just Patrick Cantlay. So, you're getting Patrick Cantlay at $9,000. That's what's exciting about this at a golf course that he loves. He's very familiar with, and he's had a tremendous amount of success at. Now, what is funny about Cantlay though is, like, for all the success, like other than really the 1 year in 2018, no other top 10s. Nothing better than a 15th, which, at 9K, you'd probably be happy with. But, if he were in the 10,000 range or 9,700 or 9,800, where you may have slotted him 2 weeks ago before he missed the cut of the Waste Management, you would have probably put him above Max Homa, Tony Finau, all these guys. You probably wouldn't be happy with a T15 necessarily, but only one top 10 here. I don't know. He's going to be an interesting case, but there's just nobody in here I'm just ready to full out fade. Do you think? Do you trust Justin Thomas? Is he back? Is he ready to go?
I love Justin. I love JT this week. Right there together, Rory and JT are my two favorites up there. I don't know if he ever left. Did he leave? Where did he go?
No, it's not that he left, but I mean, when he won the PGA, it was a little meh. I mean, third at the RBC Canadian, okay, and then it was like 13th at the FedEx St. Jude. I get it. That's a playoff event, stacked field. 13th though, 5th out of a 30-man field at Eastlake, and that was really it. That was it. He wasn't really being JT from a ball striking standpoint. He wasn't gaining a ton of strokes off the tee and on approach until the Waste Management, where he gained 8.8. He finally got the off the tee numbers back up, which I'm sure helped him on approach. The scrambling was there. And obviously, really decent record here. A lot of boom or bust. 6th last year, 2 missed cuts before that. Runner up in 2019. Yeah, I mean, I'm for a guy like him, his caliber. I'm ready to say, okay, I'm back. I'll get back on quickly. I was doubting.
I think if he needs to get that putter going. If he gets the putter going, I mean, look at the last 4 events. He's lost strokes in 3 of the 4. I mean, you just get that going a little bit with what he did last week from the approach standpoint, around the green, everything else. I mean, he found something going into the weekend. He was struggling on Thursday and found it. That's a very good sign for somebody like JT at his caliber. I think he is a fantastic player, and he obviously has a good history here as well. So
rank. Let's do this, and then we'll get out of this range. Rank Rory, Scheffler, and Rahm 1, 2, 3.
I'd go that direction. Actually, no, I'd go Rory, Rahm, Scheffler for this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I love Rory. I'd bet him at 10-1. Play him regardless of ownership. I think this is a way better setup and week for him than last week was.
Yeah, I mean, it was really the putter was what kind of let him down last week, which is interesting. I mean, those are pretty pure greens, but I mean, it's so hard to make Scheffler the third guy out of that bunch. I think Rahm is the clear dude still. I think it's still John Rahm. I mean, you just said it a few minutes ago. He didn't have his best stuff, and he still finished third. To me, it's still Rahm. And then I just have I don't know. I think Scheffler continues to he's just not sexy. He's not sexy like Rory, but 182 mile an hour ball speed on the 72nd hole, right down the effing throat of 18, on a string, with his iron play, his short game. Huh?
Didn't he have 2-3 shot lead?
Still, dude.
You let that thing loose, buddy.
182, 183. God dang. Scheffler is just so. I mean, he's got Ted Scott on the bag, who caddied for Bubba Watson, who's won here 3 times at Riv. I think it's really tough. Honestly, my gut wants to put Scheffler over Rory this week. I want to go Rahm, Scheffler, Rory. But then my head is dang it. You can't.
I don't know if I would get too
I know. I'm
wrapped into what Rory did last week, this week. I just don't.
Yeah.
Beer tastes really good today.
Does it? All right, good. Let's keep moving. Let's move right along. By the way, don't forget the Masters contest going on right now. You got a chance to win $500 in merch from the Masters Pro Shop. Me or Pat or both of us will be your personal shopper and spend $500 of our own money and then ship it to you. If you can't make it to the tournament, we'll ship it to you to your door. $500. All you have to do is go to Apple, go to podcasts, go to the podcast app, leave a 5-star review and write a review. Just write something nice. Tell us, give us some feedback on the show, something you like. On Spotify, I didn't realize this. On Spotify, you can't write a review. You can only leave a rating. So you can leave a rating on Spotify, or you can do the Apple Podcast thing. That gets you entered into the $500 merch drawing from the Pro Shop at the Masters. Me and Pat will shop for you. Do that. You've got a few weeks to do it, but go ahead and knock it out so you don't forget. Okay. Let's talk 8K range. 8K range starts off with Victor Hovland, ends with Adam Scott. Pretty decent course horse here. You got the Aussie connection and the Kikuyu grass, and they're so good on Kikuyu. Aussie DB, he's in the chat. I mean, what do we think about Kikuyu? What are we doing? What just happened? Why is the chat on the thing? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, Aussie DB, what do we think about the Kikuyu grass? Is it hard? What are we doing? It's real weird. It's sticky. Your ball can sit up on top of the stuff. It rides up your club face or whatever. I don't know. It's just Kikuyu. South Africans and Aussies tend to be familiar with this stuff. All right, if we're starting off in the 8K range with a cash play, for me, this is weird. I haven't said this in a while. For a cash play, just as quickly as I can say, like, when you're a world-class player, as quickly as I can go, like, hey, I have my doubts. What's going on with you? I can jump right back on. And I'm right back on Jordan Spieth. 8,600. Jordan Spieth, 8,600. With the way his approach play was last week, are you kidding me? Jordan Spieth, 8,600. Yes, he's a cash lock. Love him in tournaments, whatever. Hope he's not super chalk. I think he's going to be because he's 8,600. And, you know, the fade for me is Cam Young. Like, T2 here last year, I get it. That was in the beginning of the Cam Young run, but outside of what he did at the Saudi, was it the Saudi a couple weeks ago where he finished runner-up again? Like, he's not really been the same guy. He can't putt all of a sudden. He's definitely not putting. And he was putting better on the run that he was on. His touch around the greens has gotten worse. The iron play's gotten a little worse. I don't know that I trust Cam Young right now. And I think he's overpriced for what he's been delivering lately at $8,800. Like, I would much rather have literally everyone else below him. I would rather have at the price tag of $8,800. So I think that's the cash play. That's the fade for me.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree totally on Cam Young. I think he's just the honeymoon is over for him. I think he's a super talented golfer, and if he starts to get it together, I could see me definitely being all in for the Masters, but we'll wait and see when we get there. For me, a cash play is Jason Day.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
Look at what he's doing lately. I mean, 5th last week, 7th at the Farmers, top 20 at the American Express. I mean, the dude's not only just making cuts, but he's contending. 8,400 for Jason Day. I think if you're playing cash, I absolutely love it.
He doesn't check the course record, the course history box. I mean, now he's got it. He's played here. This will be his 6th appearance, but clearly there's something about Riv, or it feels like, or maybe it was just a scheduling thing. It feels like he was intentional about not coming here. I mean, he played in 2010, 2011, 2012. Okay, went miscut, 62nd, and then was like, oh, crikey, mate, I'm not going to come back here anymore. And he didn't come back until like 2017 when somebody was like, hey, you're really good. Why don't you just play Riviera and see what happens? He's like, I'll give it another go, mate. And he finished 64th. And then he's like, fuck that place, mate. I'm not going back again. And then he comes in 2020 and he misses the cut. And so here he is again because probably designated event. He's rolling. He's hot. So that worries me a little bit. But I mean, with the way he's playing right now, it just may not matter where he goes. He's just been that freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you when you look at the history here, but I mean, just the way he's playing right now, it's just so solid, and you can't really compare it to the last few years anyway because he just hasn't been the same Jason Day. So I do like him a lot. I don't mind the Spieth play in cash either. I think Tom Kim is interesting this week. I want to fade Tom, man. You look at experience being something that we want to look at this week, which I do think matters, like we had last week. And I think that is something that bothers me a little bit about playing Tom Kim. He did not play well at all on the weekend at the Waste Management. He had 4 birdies total between the 2 rounds, and 3 of them were in 1 round. So I just think Tom is he makes me a little nervous to go, especially with the way this range is in this 8K range, because I love Jordan. I like Willie Z this week a lot. I like Hovland up top at 8,900. People are going to talk about his scrambling and all this kind of stuff, Hovland, but the dude has played well here. I mean, his history, is opposite of day. I mean, it's fantastic. The 2 times he's played here, he's finished in the top 5. It's been amazing. So Victor Hovland there at 8,900. There's just a lot of guys in here in this 8K range, and Tom Kim to me is just he's just not. I just don't think I want to play him.
I was just about to ask you about Hovland. I mean, the chipping is a concern. It's a major concern. But like Colin Morikawa, he's just one of those guys when he's playing like Victor Hovland, his irons are so elite that he can avoid it because his irons are that good. But my question is, his irons have been a little lackluster. I mean, for Victor Hovland, like it's not been the same, like really peak iron weeks. Like I could see him coming here and the iron's still not being completely there, and then he's having to rely a little more on the short game. And whatever you want to hear about Victor Hovland and whatever they say on the telecast about who he's been working with and getting bet, it's not showing up in the strokes gained data. If you look at the last 10 tournaments he's played on Fantasy National, he is the same around the green. He averages -1 shot around the green. He's the same as he was if you look at every single registered strokes gained event he's played on the PGA Tour, which is 76, and it's -1. He's not gotten any better. And so it just concerns me a little bit with, I mean, if you look at the 2 rounds at the Genesis, the 2 years at the Genesis where he finished 4th and 5th, both of those years, he gained over 10 strokes with his irons. Peak iron weeks, 6.1 and 4.1. He's not come close to that lately. In fact, the last time he's even come close to that was the Valspar in March, where he gained 3.9. That's the last time. He's not gained more than 3 strokes with his iron since. Now, some of that actually could be, I mean, well, I take that back. The Open, he probably did. We don't see that on Fantasy National. Zozo, he probably did. I don't know. It just seems like he's not been as consistent with the iron. So he worries me a little bit.
Okay.
Why wasn't Willie Z at the Waste Management? Does anybody know that? Why wouldn't he play the Waste Management?
I have no clue. I don't think injuries, though, is still a thing. I don't think that's. I'm sure there was something out there of why he didn't play.
He played it in 2021. He didn't play it last year. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's gonna say rest or whatever. I doubt he's gonna play next week, right? The Honda's supposed to be terrible next week. So he played the Amex and the Farmers in back-to-back weeks. I don't know. Like, I have questions about Willie Z.
Maybe he forgot it was an elevated event. He just was like,
his agent
got on the schedule, and he was like, son of a bitch. That fucking thing is $3.6 million. I had no clue.
He woke up Thursday and he's like, wait a minute. He saw a tweet from Golf Digest or something when they want to tell you about how much money people make. He's like, I knew there was something I had to do today. It was tee off Waste Management.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So any other thoughts down here? I mean, like the 2 old guys, we talked about old guys a couple weeks ago, right? And you got Justin Rose and Adam Scott down here at the bottom, just hanging, just chilling. They're both interesting to me. Like, I will be interested to see where ownership falls. I think Adam Scott's going to be popular. I think Hideki's an interesting value down here at 8,200. I don't mind Hideki at all. What else?
Are you going to go back to Hatton? What are you going to do?
God dang it, Hatton. Mother father.
The dude is so good, man. He really is.
I know. I did want to bring this up on, I don't know what I'm going to do about Hatton. Somebody needs to like really sell me on Tyrrell Hatton.
What's your problem with Hatton anyway? Like, I don't get it.
I don't believe him. I don't believe in him. He's like Santa Claus. I don't believe in him. I don't understand. I don't understand how someone that grumpy and mad about being on the golf course can be that freaking good. I don't get it.
I think he would be so fun to play golf with.
Oh, he probably would be. No, I would love to play golf with him. I really would. I would love to play golf with him. But every time I get to his name and I like think about clicking him, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
He's actually the reason I won that showdown on Sunday. Or I didn't win. I had some.
I wanted to. There was something about who was it I was going to look at? Yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick. I was looking at Fitzy because I'm like looking at Fitzy's iron play, and I just don't understand. He has not gained strokes with his iron since in the last 2, 4, 6 events. He's not done it, which is wild. He continues to gain strokes off the tee, so he's in good. He's at least doing decent off the tee. He's in a good position, and he just can't get it done. But like he checks every other box. He's very tempting to me. He only lost total of 1.2 this week, but if you look at the round by round breakdown, like he came out great round 1, gained 1.33 strokes in round 1, lost 0.28 in round 2. Round 3 was bad. He lost 1.66 strokes on approach, and then he lost 0.63 on Sunday. I don't know. So it's kind of like a back and forth week for him. Maybe he's trending in the right direction. But I'm tempted by Matt Fitzpatrick. I just think you get names down here with like Fitzpatrick, Spieth, Hideki. I got questions on Willie Z. But on those 3 guys, I think you're getting some really interesting value and some, I mean, if these guys are on real win equity, like those are guys you trust could actually win against a field like this strong. You're getting them very, very cheap. And chances are, just like last week, we said this was going to happen last week, and it did, because of the way the salaries are set up and the studs and duds thing is what people are going to do. This range is going to be largely left alone. I just think you're going to have maybe 1 or 2 guys that are going to get some play, and then that's kind of it. So there's a lot of leverage to be had in the 8K range for sure.
What's the word on Fitzy on his injury? Have they said anything?
I haven't seen anything new, but I mean, he played all 4 rounds. He shot 5 under.
It's like at Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
It's like I said. I mean, he came back after the delay. He was playing crappy.
Yeah.
Played well. I think he's one, and I think Willie Z. Like if I'm in the Nut Hut on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, and you're posting some of the interviews, some of the transcripts.
Yeah.
Willie Z's one. Is he coming up on the schedule?
Let me look.
Z's one, and if Fitzy, if I can get some good stuff from Fitzy in there or Willie Z, they're going to be something I want to look at this week.
None of them are on the schedule. Tuesday, you have Justin Rose, Tiger, and Scotty Scheffler. Wednesday, you have Tom Kim, Rory, Adam Scott, Finau, and Max Homa. So I'm going to have to rely on some boots on the ground at Riviera to get that information relayed in the Nut Hut. All right, before we move on to the 7K range, we talked to you guys about our new friends at Leaderboard last week, and I played around with the Leaderboard app last week at Champions Retreat. It's a lovely app. Now you can play by yourself and track your own game. You can keep track of your stats, your greens and reg, your fairways, how many putts, your score, obviously, where you missed the fairway, where you missed the green and reg. That's a good thing to keep track of. Pat talked about that last week, how it kind of helped his game. But when you're playing with your friends too, you can help. They help facilitate the gambling. Stroke play, match play, Nassau, skins, nines is in there. All these different gambling games are in there. You put the handicaps in, and they do all the math for you. It's super easy, and then they connect you to Venmo. So when it's time to pay up, you can get them folks paid up. But what I enjoyed about my round, and now, by the way, me and Pat's profile is public on Leaderboard, which also Leaderboard is a free app. So just go to the App Store and download Leaderboard and give it a shot, okay? It's a free app. Even if you're not playing, me and Pat will be posting all of our rounds on the Leaderboard app, and we're public. Tour Junkies DB, Tour Junkies Pat. We've already seen some followers rolling in from the Nut Hut. You can follow us. You can track our rounds. I had a terrible freaking round on, I think it was Thursday. Terrible round on Thursday. Just just crapped all over myself. Had a little Spiethian run there from 10 to 14 where I was just getting up and down. I had 5 putts through 4 holes or something, which was really good for me because I was just saving my dick getting up and down. But it's a fun app to track, and you kind of look back at it and go, God dang, like, I got to figure out, my irons or why I'm missing left everywhere or whatever it is. But also what I really enjoyed about it is it went straight to my USGA, to my GIN, my handicap. I didn't even have to go. I didn't have to go to the GIN app at all, which is glorious. I double checked it. I was like, does this really work? And yes, it really works. I connected my GIN and it sent the information to the USGA. You can see your revision scores. It's fantastic. Scorecards for group games are automatically dotted. So if you're playing a group game, you got stroke holes based on the course ratings and the player handicaps. Golfers get the benefit of an app with games, wagering, social features, and more stats while seamlessly posting to their handicap, all with the Leaderboard app. So go check out the Leaderboard app. Download it in the App Store right now. It's free to download. There's no like pay. There's no like things, whatever it is, they pressure you to pay more money to get new features. There's none of that in there. It's just a clean, easy to use, great app to use on the golf course. So, and follow our rounds and comment on how crappy golfers we are. But we're going to get better. It's going to get better.
Yeah, it is.
Link in the description of the YouTube video and of the podcast. If you just want to click the Leaderboard link, it'll take you straight to the proper app in the App Store because there is a different leaderboard in the App Store. It's kind of weird. All right, we got to hustle, Pat. What are we doing? We're going slow. 7K range.
All right. Here we go.
Cash play for me is Ricky Fowler. I mean, gosh dang, 7,900. I'm believing in Ricky. I paid up for him last week. Wasn't he in the 8K range last week? I paid up for him last week. I'm paying for him again this week. I'm buying. I am in on Ricky Fowler. He had a T20 here 2 years ago when he sucked. I'm here. I'm here with Ricky. I'm arm in arm locked up with Ricky. I'll go there. He's a cash play. The guys I'm not playing, Tiger Woods. Not playing Tiger Woods, 7,300.
Well, yeah.
In fact, here's the YouTube comment question of the week. By the way, click the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, because we do go live often. Sometimes we don't tell you. We're going to drop an interview here this week that we tried to drop last week. We're going to drop it this week. You're going to want to be notified of that. So subscribe to the channel. But here's the comment of the day, of the week, whatever. And if you're watching live, first of all, thank you. But put the comment in once the video's over. Tiger's at 7,300. What price would he have to be for you to play him in the $200 single entry tournament on DraftKings? Okay. You're playing the $200 single entry. Okay. What price does Tiger have to be for you to click the button and put him in your lineup? Maybe it's 7,300. Maybe you're like, DB, I'm playing him this week at 7,300. Yeah. Okay. For me, I'm not playing him. I'm so glad he's going to give it a shot. I'm happy to see it. Hopefully the plantar fasciitis is gone or at least much better. I know Riv is a much easier walk than Augusta would be, for example. And yeah, swing looked good at the match. It looked good at the PNC. Sure, but this is tournament golf against the strongest field Riviera has ever seen. So I'm out. If you want not a cop-out fade, I'm also going to fade Shane Lowry again for all the same reasons I faded him last week. And I'm also going to fade Corey Connors. I don't understand Corey Connors, $7,600. Why do I want Corey Connors? What's his upside? Somebody asked me about betting him outright today. I was like, what? No. We think Corey Connors, who won the Valero in 2019, is going to win this event? Absolutely not. I would bet my mortgage that he's not going to win this event. I would, yeah. But it's not just not win. I just don't even like him here. So I'm out on Corey Connors, Shane Lowry, Tiger, cash plays Fowler. What do you think about all that? And who are your guys?
Okay, that's a lot to take in. Well, I mean, I think Tiger's obviously an easy fade, and I'm not playing him, but very excited to see him play, and we'll see what happens with him. Shane Lowry, he did burn me last week. I don't know. I could probably see me coming back to him, but
oh my gosh,
there's not a whole lot to get excited about. So I do agree with you there. As far as so I'd probably say, well, let me go with my cash play first off.
Yeah.
I like Adam Hadwin a lot this week.
That was my second.
Drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
Can't stand Adam Hadwin. You know what else I can't stand? His damn wife on Twitter. Something about her drives me freaking up the wall. But Adam had, and I don't want to bet him. I don't ever want to bet Adam Hadwin to outright win a damn golf tournament ever again. But you know what? He can make cuts, and he can finish in the top 25. And I feel very safe when I put Hadwin in a lineup that he's probably going to make the cut. And I think I've got some upside for cash.
I mean, listen, Hadwin's like a rubber. He's a Jimmy. You feel safe.
Yeah.
It's not optimal.
I don't think there's any holes in it or anything.
Yeah. You feel like it's a reliable product. You trust it. It's a name brand. It's a name you're familiar with. You're comfortable with. It doesn't hurt. It just doesn't. It's not optimal. It doesn't feel the best. And Luke, if you're listening,
there's no rib for her pleasure.
Little Luke, if you're listening, don't worry about it. Okay, but I'm just saying, it's that's kind of what he's like. He's just that. Anyway,
yeah.
I had one written down as a possible second cash play though. I do think chalk wise, I think Fowler could be chalky. I think Wyndham Clark and Adam Hadwin could both be chalky. I have a fourth name, and I'm curious your thoughts after he just burned you. But I wonder if he could be chalky, even though he just burned you a little bit, just because people freaking love him. And this Sahith, like you get Sahith down here in the 7K range, and you're just like, ooh, Sahith 7,800. Yeah, I want that. And personally, I don't think I want it. Although his grimy short game is very attractive here. Like he's got a really good short game, and it's nice. It's nice here. And
didn't he also go to college, like right in this area or something?
Yeah, really close to Riv.
Yeah, probably has some experience playing this course.
Yeah. 48th here last year's first time playing it, which I get. That's cool. I just think I'd still rather have Siwoo, and Siwoo will be less owned than Ricky, Sahith, and Wyndham. Siwoo will be less owned, and he has upside here, third in 2019, but he's just playing different right now. Siwoo's like 3 million to the winner. Oh, Siwoo not go home now this week. Siwoo go home next week at Honda. Siwoo don't show up at Honda, but this week, if it's 3 whatever mil, Siwoo is in. Okay, I've seen him on Instagram with his coach. Like my boy is grinding right now. He's dialed. That's who you want. Ricky Siwoo. And I like Wyndham Clark. I do like Wyndham Clark. I've never liked Wyndham Clark.
I love Wyndham this week.
Yeah,
absolutely love him. I'm going to be bathing myself in Wyndham Clark again this week.
You're going to regret that. Now I'm off of him. If
I feel like I'm going to regret it, but you know what? I love some Wyndham this week. Let's talk back again on who are we talking about? Sahith.
Yeah.
I feel like just Sahith, like if I were gonna clone a guy in the 7K range that had the game to compete here, like you saw a DJ compete here or a Bubba compete here, I think Sahith he could get in like both. Like you think of not DJ, but you think of Bubba, he's all over the place with his. I mean, he's either on a course like the National or here, or it's whatever. You just don't know. I feel like it's kind of the same you're going to get with a guy like Sahith. He's not near as talented. Yeah. I'm not trying to say he's as talented as. Well, I don't know. He's a pretty talented guy.
But I don't mind the creativity that Riviera asks you to have. I like that. I mean, I do like that. Like I said, his grimy short game is really attractive here.
Yeah.
Okay. What about? How long is the bull run on Nick Taylor going to last at 7,400? Are we still into this? I mean, like Nick Taylor's actually not played bad here, but
I feel like you got to stay on him. You got to keep.
The dude was a runner-up in a T7 his last 4 events and a T20.
Yeah,
like Nick Taylor's doing his damn thing. All right, last question: the 7K range, and we're going to go to the 6K draft. I like a lot of names at 7,100 and 7K. Pat, my question to you. Tell me the names at 7,100 or 7K and 7K that you believe could win this golf tournament, if any. There may not be any, but in contention late on Sunday. They've got a shot. They're in the Nick Taylor's position. Okay. Any names from 7,100 to 7K that you believe could actually win?
Okay. I would say, I don't think there's anybody in here that I think could actually win. I don't.
Listen, call me a homer, but here, Kurt Kitayama, I think the dude can win. I've already been talking him up.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
That the here kitty thing makes me feel like chalk on fingers on a chalkboard.
Here, kitty.
I hate that.
You have a cat. You're a cat guy, which is
I'm
weird.
not a cat guy. I'm not a cat guy. I may have one, but it's like it's just there, but it's not mine either. But Kitayama,
that's every cat. Literally,
but
that's
every kitty. That I don't. It's stupid. It drives me crazy. Stop saying it.
Well, I love him, and so I'm a believer in Kitty.
Kurt Kitayama. Let's just call him Kitayama.
I'm a believer in him too, but I think he could do it. I think, and I love him here. Oof. I just think there's some guys on the fringe here that are like, God dang, could they? Like if Scott Stallings, who's just continued to play really well, could he do it? Maybe. What about the Belgian bomber, Thomas Detry? Could he get it done? Could 2 or 3 time winner Brennan Steele, although it feels like a long time ago, could he do it? Could Cam Davis make a resurgence? Aussie Kikuya Grass 7K. Remember how in love with everybody Cam Davis? Huh?
Any of these people could do this 2 weeks ago at Pebble Beach. Not this week.
You don't think it's this week? What about your boy P-Raj? I like P-Raj this week. I don't like him to win.
That guy's not winning.
No, I don't like him to win.
By the way, he has a new nickname in the Nut Hut.
What's his new nickname?
The Dust Buster.
What is that for? Okay, we'll figure that out in the Nut Hut. I like him, though, this week. Good record here. Sneaky T14 last week, which is what he does. He just sneaks up on you and does it. All right, let's move on. We got to get going. This is going way too long. 6K range. Listen, we'll get into all the grimy details in the Wednesday night lunchtime live chat with me, the Wednesday night live chat with you and me in the Nut Hut. Sleepers video drops tomorrow. That was terrible last week. God dang. I had 3 sleepers. They all missed the cut. Luke List at +1, Matt Wallace at +2, Norin at +2 or +3. God, terrible. That was my worst sleepers video of the year. I got that all wrong. So here you go. For you people that think I never say I'm wrong, really sucked on that one. Let's talk about the 6K draft from last week, Pat. It wasn't bad for a 6K draft. Picking 6 guys, like 3 of them made the cut, and you had Grayson Sigg finished T57, but again, I mentioned this earlier. I think he was like 35th in DraftKings points scored. Stefan Jaeger missed the cut. I told you. I didn't figure this. Scott Stallings finished T23. Sam Ryder continued the hot streak, T20. Luke List, I just mentioned, missed the cut, and Callum Tarrant missed the cut. That was our 6K draft last week. Let's run it back this week. 6K draft. You start this week. I started last week, so go.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with a guy that I was in the Mayo draft, EB, and everybody hated it. But he did finish here top 15 last year, made the cut the year before that. So 2 in a row, Sepp Straka at 6,800.
I did have him written down. Like, he's interesting here, isn't he? Like, with his upside ability, and he's not playing good at all. He didn't play good in the Middle East. He just got back from there. He did not play well there. But if you look at Sepp's history, like anywhere, he can go from like miscut to T4 real quick. Like he's not one of these guys who like kind of slow builds and you see it coming. So I don't hate that considering the upside for Sepp. Listen, I'm going to take the 52nd ranked golfer in the world, Pat. 52nd ranked golfer in the world. And I normally am not a sucker for like, play the Euro guy, the DP World Tour guy that nobody's ever heard of. But Adrian Meronk is really, really good at golf. He's $6,900. It is his first time playing here. He's coming off a 4th at the Ras Al Khaimah. He won the Australian Open, which I like that a lot, with the ties to Australia. Had a tremendous year last year. Won the Irish Open. I like Adrian Meronk a good bit. I think you gotta look at him at 6,900.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with my boy Brandon Wu, 6,700. Second place finish a couple weeks ago at Pebble Beach. Made the cut last week at the Waste Management. West Coast guy also.
Yeah.
Brandon Wu.
I'm just kind of meh on Wu. I can't get there. I really have tried. I've tried to get there. I can't get there. All right. So we got Sepp. We got Wu. Okay. God, so there's some good names in here. I'm excited to see Nick Hardy play. I was really he was the next name on the alternate list at Waste Management. We were DMing on Instagram about it. Never got in. He was the last man left out. But I like him here. I like him on a golf course where he can rip driver. He likes hard golf courses. So give me Nick Hardy. Playing really well.
All right, I was kind of thinking about going there too. So good one there. All right. So why not Johnny Vegas at 6,900?
I like Vegas. I mean,
Vegas was
his putter is so bad. That's the concern. But
yeah. He was a little sneaky though last week. He found himself up there on the front page of the leaderboard, but T23, top 25 at the Farmers before that. He is a kind of a guy though, I think, that gets a little streaky. So I feel like maybe we're getting him in the middle of that. So I like Vegas at 6,900.
Oh man, there's so many different places I could go here. All right. I think I'm gonna go with my boy. This is kind of a heart pick. Dang, do I want to do it? No, I don't want to do it. Never mind. F the heart pick. Gosh, dang it.
Why don't you go Sam Ryder again?
I'm looking at Sam Ryder. I'm between Sam Ryder and one other person. Okay. We'll go Sam Ryder again. He T20 for us last week. We'll go Sam Ryder. 6,700. So the 6K draft is Adrian Meronk, Sepp Straka, Brandon Wu, Nick Hardy, Johnny Vegas, and Sam Ryder. Those are our favorite plays in the 6K range. Check them out. And let's keep the good. We've had some good 6K drafts. I think if we get 3 guys through the cut out of the 6K range, and 2 of those guys finish top 20, top 25, that's really good. That's what you want out of this range.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Betting show dropping on Tuesday morning. Sleepers video dropping after that. We'll see you in the Nut Hut chats. We got 2 of those on Wednesday lunchtime with me, Wednesday night with me and Pat. It's a big week. We got a kind of a downer week next week with the Honda. Then we're jumping back up for Arnie's Place, Bay Hill, another designated event. Golf is now off and running. This is going to be fun. Thanks for tuning in. Click the like button, subscribe, comment on the Tiger price. Where would you play him? Appreciate y'all. All right. Make your screens be green. See ya.